Hello, this is Molly Reamer with 30 Days of Goddess in Bridget's Grove with this week's mini ritual for the Creative Spirit Circle and our Rituals of Returning newsletter, now hosted on Substack. So anyway, I'm keeping this one a little shorter and simpler than I have been. Lately, I've been having a massive buffet of card opportunities, and this one I decided to cut it back to a little bit more simple. So we're wrapping up our month with Hecate, and so this is the card that I have in the full deck that I made for myself at the end of last year, or actually it was the beginning of this year, where I have the full deck assembled into the little card packets, and then I have them put into a special bag altogether. And so I wanted to use her packet as our ritual within a ritual, so to speak, today. So the affirmation is, I keep it simple and sacred. And isn't that the heart of it, right? Like, don't we want to continue to keep things simple and sacred? I have to come back to this over and over again because I really have a strong tendency to make things harder than they have to be. I have a strong tendency to make things more complicated than they have to be. And then at this time of year, I often find myself paring back, cutting down, and seeking or sensing this type of clarity that emerges at this time of year for me about how to keep it more simple and sacred. And then kind of the year gets away from me and I slip back into some of my old patterns. But at this time of year, it starts to feel very, very clear what I want, how I want to feel, what I want to do, how I want to spend my time. And so my word of the year for, I just kicked her a little bit. My word of the year for next year is embody, as well as return. And then I also got a ring that says simple and sacred. Check it out. So I like to have all my reminders on my body at all times. And so anyway, this upcoming year, I really want to embody this. I really want to embody this practice. I want to embody these truths. I want to embody these knowings. And I want to keep it simple and sacred. So then our word, touch. I reach out to touch the holy in every day. I extend myself to touch the infinite and feel her reaching back. And then we'll return to the ending prayer as we close this week's little mini ritual. So then I went ahead and we're working with the Song of the Grandmothers deck this month, which was a gift to me from Carmen. And this time we got the zebra, who we have had in the past, Grandmother Zebra. We've had this card. It's been quite a while ago, but it might seem familiar to you. And so Grandmother Zebra's message is about confidence, which, if we're pulling it back to that simple and sacred idea, I would say, may we have the confidence, the trust to keep it simple and sacred as often as possible. And, lives are complex. People are complex. It's not always going to be. It's not easy, ironically, to keep things simple and sacred. But may we have the confidence to trust ourselves in knowing what we need. And so the message from Grandmother Zebra is, it's time to take the stage. Uncovered in the spotlight, show the world your stripes. So do you have something that you feel insecure about, a way in which you feel like you are hiding? Is it time for you to take the spotlight to show the world your stripes? So we're going to check in really quickly with what the book has to say about this card. And it says, she is leaving the wings and moving towards center stage. When Grandmother Zebra comes into view, take heart. It's time for you to do the same without apology. Toss out your old ideas that standing out is conceited or selfish. Own who you are and showcase it in a visible way. If this sounds scary to you, ask yourself, am I trying too hard to blend in? Am I afraid to draw attention to myself? Is there a part of me that I feel too self-conscious to showcase? Am I holding back because I'm afraid I'm different? So Grandmother Zebra's message is, you are the only you in the world. You are better at being you than anyone else. Don't be afraid to dazzle. Don't be afraid to dazzle. So then we have a little assist from the Mandala Oracle additions to Linda Fabry's decks, and this one we got Ladybug, Lucky, and Loved. So here's a little reminder for us from that card. Luck is on your side. To activate it even more, take time to notice all the little ways life is saying, I love you. A practice can even be to think that thought as you're drinking a cup of water. Like, this is one of the ways that life is saying, I love you to me. Deep breaths, falling leaves, good food, bright sun, beautiful things, running rivers, all of those things are life saying, I love you. So that is a nice little reminder there. That deck came from Teal, so thanks to Teal for that. And then I went ahead and picked one from the Everyday Witch Oracle. I haven't used this one for a while. I have a tendency to be kind of out of sight, out of mind about decks sometimes, and this one had been put away in a drawer under my bed, and I thought, well, haha, I'm going to pull it out. And this one really connects very well to the Grandmother Zebra card. It is about speaking your mind. So may you have the confidence to speak your mind. May you have the confidence to speak your mind. And so a little information from that book is that many of us might have a hard time speaking our minds and saying what we're really thinking. We may hold back out of insecurity or fear of calling us fuss, or we might speak too freely or clumsily, never quite managing to say what we want the way we want it to come out. So we might actually confuse ourselves or others with how we speak, or hurt people's feelings without meaning to, etc., etc. And so open, honest communication is hard, but it's also the cornerstone of good relationships. So it is worth making the effort to get it right. So may you have the confidence to speak your mind, and may you put in the effort to get it right. So she has some suggestions saying that you can practice speaking in front of a mirror, things like that. But the questions to ask, it says, if we see this card, the universe is probably telling you need to speak up. Is there a situation or issue you've been struggling with? Maybe you've been keeping silent when you have something you want to say. Do you feel as though you're not being heard? Remember, you can speak your mind without being nasty or argumentative. You can be polite and assertive and still speak your mind. If you get to speak your mind, that means you have to listen too. But don't let anything or anyone rob you of your own voice. Sometimes it takes extra courage to be able to speak up when it would be easier or safer to remain silent. So, anyway, do you feel like you can speak your mind, like you're allowed to speak your mind? And then we're going to go ahead and close with this little brief prayer from my Hecate card over here. I dedicate myself to the practice of center, to calling my spirit back again and again, to coming back into my body, to settling inward, to living, working, and relating from this place of wholeness and trust. So this is an affirmation, a practice, and a prayer all in one. I dedicate myself to the practice of center, to coming back home again and again, to beginning again and again, to reaching out to touch the holy, to speaking my mind, to speaking your mind, to acting with confidence, and to remember all the little ways that life says, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. Keep living your magic. Bye-bye.